Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a Captain Marvel inspired makeup tutorial. A few of you may remember that for Halloween about 2 years ago I did Captain Marvel, who was a relatively unknown character in the grand scheme of things until she got a movie this year. So I wanted to take inspiration from her color theme and make a makeup look based on it. So we're going to be starting with eyeshadow primer, of course. I'm going to be using my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eyeshadow Base, which I apply on first with the wand and then blend it out with my fingertips. And then I'll be going in with the Milani Eyeshadow Primer and layering that in on top. I do need two primers. I need to mention it because a few people are unaware, but one primer by itself just doesn't work for me, so I go in with two separate ones. And then we're going straight in with the eyes. I'm going to be using a really old MAC eyeshadow. It's called Shag. It doesn't exist anymore, but you can use any kind of warm toned brown. This is not too warm toned, but I didn't want anything cool because I will be layering red on top. I wanted a warm toned brown because I did not want the red that I will be putting on my lid to fade out to a pink, and when you go pale with red it turns into pink, so the brown will help to even that out. But before we go to the red, I'm going to be using this Makeup Geek shadow in Fortune Teller. You can see that I wetted my brush before. I don't really know why. The foiled shadow actually goes on really well, so I didn't necessarily need to wet my brush, but I wanted this to be really bright, really vibrant, and wetting my brush will help to add a little bit more foiled texture. But again, these are super foiled shadows, so you really don't have to wet your brush before you go in. Okay, moving on to the red shadow, and this color is a stunner. This is the Makeup Forever eyeshadow in the matte formula. This is 846. It is in the round pan, so it's older than their most recent formula, but I've got a huge pan of it and I love the color dearly. So as you can see, I'm stamping the color on with my brush because I'm not very good at blending, to be honest, and I prefer to stamp the color in place because it gives it an even edge and places the color exactly where I want it. After I have the red in place, I'm going in with my Brow Bone highlight shade, which is just basically my skin tone. I'm using the shade Wet n Wild in Brulee and just layering that on top of my brow bone to blend out the crease color. Okay, so I've got the gold and I've got the red, and now I need the blue. So I'm starting off with the Makeup Forever Aqua XL eye pencil in M22, which is a royal blue, and I'm layering that all along my lower waterline and sort of smudging that between my lashes. I have really blonde lashes, and I want to get the color between them so that it doesn't look like my kind of like eye flap is sticking out too much. So I'm layering on the pencil, smudging it between my lash lines, and then taking a brush and really jamming the color in between them. Because next I'm going to be taking the Sugar Pill shadow in Velocity and using a pencil brush to layer that on top of the pencil. The pencil works really well to fill in the gaps between my lashes, and then I need the powder to sort of blend it out. So the powder is very similar to the eye pencil color, and here's a shot of me looking in the mirror trying to figure out if this look is actually going to work in the end, because at this point it is very primary colored and I did not think that it was going to look that good, but I kept going with it. And I'm taking the blue up to the outer edges because I'm going to be putting a wing liner between the two colors, but I did want to bring that blue all the way up. Okay, moving on to the inner corner of my eye, I'm using the BECCA Light Chaser highlighter in Pearl Flashes Gold. It's a very, very pale gold, and I just wanted something a little bit brighter on the inner corner of my eye that wasn't going to clash with any of the colors that I've got going on. And next up is liquid liner, which usually makes everything better. This is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster in Ultra Black, and my pen is on the way out, so it was a little bit of a struggle getting as much ink as I could onto my eyes. And I'm doing a regular winged liner for myself, but as you can see, I am layering it exactly between where the red and the blue colors are because I wanted it to break up the two colors. I did not want the blue to mesh into the red because that would have made it purple and kind of destroyed the whole look. I did very much want to represent Captain Marvel with the gold, the red, and the blue. And to finish up the eyes, I'm going in with Essence's The False Lashes Mascara Dramatic Volume Unlimited and putting that on my top and bottom lashes. And then I'm following it up with some fake lashes by SocialEyes. These are the style Lady, and they're pretty tailored towards the outer corner of the eye, which is great because I didn't want the whole lash look to sort of overtake the makeup, and these sort of tailor out to a small cat eye at the very outer corner. So aside from the primary colors, Captain Marvel also has a star in the middle of her suit as well as one on her sash, although that's not really apparent in the movie. So I'm dabbing a little bit of glitter glue. Nope, that is lash glue on the inner corner of my eye, and then I'm applying the Lit Cosmetics Eurostar Silver Holographic glitter. It's just a star cutout on the inner corner of my eye, and I just use a Q-tip to put that in place. Okay, with the eyes done, it's time to move on to the face, and I'm using one of my absolute favorite foundations. I love this stuff so much. It's the Shiseido Synchro Skin in Neutral 2. This is the long-lasting liquid foundation, by the way. It's not the dewy one, so this is more of a matte formula, but I don't find it to be completely full coverage. It's more of a medium one, and it really, really matches my skin tone. I am so happy with this foundation. I've gone through a whole bottle of it. I'm on my second tube, and I just love it dearly. So I'm dabbing that into place with a damp, oh, it's not my Real Technique sponge. I'm actually using a beauty blender here, which is very unique for me. And I'm being careful around the edges of my eye makeup because I did finish that off first. And my bronzer today is clearly another favorite because I've hit a lot of pan on it. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and that's going in the usual places for me, which is on my temples, the backs of my cheekbones, and then lightly along my jawline. For my cheeks, I'm going to be keeping it fairly simple with this Tarte blush. This shade is called Sensual, and it's funny because whenever I look at it in the pan, I am so bored and I always think it just looks brown, but on my cheeks, it actually comes across as quite peach, which, I mean, works out for me. It's just so funny that I always think of the shade as being brown when it's really not. As for my cheek highlighter, I'm going to use the exact same color that I used on the inner corner of my eye, and that is the BECCA Light Chaser Highlighter in Pearl Flashes Gold. I like to make stuff cohesive, so if I can replicate either the exact same color or use something similar along my face, I feel like it makes it more cohesive. And now my most hated part of doing my makeup, doing my brows. Oh, honestly, I can't stand doing it every single time. It drives me nuts. So I'm using the IT Cosmetics Brow Power in Universal Taupe. I first do a line along my brows just to sort of like create a line because I really don't have that much hair there. And then I go in with the NYX Micro Brow in Taupe and fill in the top half because I feel like that color suits my sort of hair color better. But the IT Cosmetics one is easier to apply and it's better for getting that line along the bottom of my brow. For lips, I was not really sure what I was going to do at first. I first held up the Bite Beauty lipstick in Toasted Cardamom, and then I held up Bite's Crushed Chili. And in the end, I went with Crushed Chili because I thought it looked a little bit better, but I do think the neutral would work as well. So Crushed Chili is more red, but there is a little bit of, I would say, subdued color to it. So it's not as vibrant as my eyeshadow color, but I do feel like it ties the whole look in together. So I apply it straight out of the bullet, and then I go in with a lip pencil because I have a really rough edge shape, and I feel like a lip pencil really helps to make that a little bit more seamless. And that's the whole look. Thank you so much for watching this Captain Marvel inspired makeup tutorial, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!